coming up on Network Africa. Ghana's opposition New Patriotic Party protests over claims of democracy under attack. With Nigeria's general elections only months away, a new survey links voter education to peaceful polls and environmental protection. Senegal jails 3 TikTok influencers over posts criticizing President Diomaye Faye. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Amarachi Ubani. We begin in Ghana, where the country's main opposition party, the New Patriotic Party, has staged protests accusing the ruling National Democratic Congress government of undermining democracy, restricting free speech and targeting political opponents. Hundreds of NPP supporters, lawmakers and party leaders marched through the streets of Accra, presenting petitions to the Supreme Court, Parliament and the Presidency. The NPP says recent developments, including court decisions, arrests of opposition members, and the removal of former Chief Justice Gertrude Dokonno, raise concerns about Ghana's democratic institutions. The opposition also accuses the authorities of using security agencies to intimidate members and limiting freedom of expression through prosecutions of social media users over offensive or false content.
This demonstration is to let the world know that it's not just TikTokers who are expressing their own opinions about what is happening, but those of us who may not have the opportunity or the chance to talk on TikTok that we support them. Anything that they are saying, except the insults, we must urge them to do the right thing so that any government that comes afterwards will continue with that. We don't wait till it is spoiled and come back again to change everything. And this protest is all that we are doing. But above all, it is to protest against the abuse of our rights to free expression. And this is very fundamental at the moment.
I joined the demonstration because, first of all, Ghana is a democratic country. So every human being has the right to criticize the government. If things are not going well, we have the right to criticize. And I don't know why, after criticizing, you will be there and they'll come and arrest you. For what? For criticizing the government? Sadinam Tamaklo. As of today, she has been freed. But Chema Wuntumi has been jailed. On what grounds? Camila Hassan just repeated what someone said. That I don't want to repeat, but she just repeated what someone said. And out of nowhere, she has been arrested. She's spending 1 year imprisonment, which is not right. What did she do wrong?
What kind of democracy is it that you set your own free and arrest others and let them go through very cruel processes before they are arraigned? And then when you arraign them, you find people who said, they were supposed to be charged and use them as prosecution witnesses against the people who want to prosecute.
The democracy that we're practicing today is gradually having a trait of culture of silence, where anytime the government feels uncomfortable, anytime the presidency feels uncomfortable, whoever is at the tail end or being the person that did utter those words of discomfort, the person is quickly arraigned before the court and sentenced.
We're in Kenya now, where women's rights organizations and relatives of missing people have marched through the capital, Nairobi, demanding an end to alleged enforced disappearances, abductions, and extrajudicial killings. This march comes amid continuing allegations of rights groups enforcing disappearances, excessive use of force, and extrajudicial killings following Kenya's anti-government protests that began in 2024. Protesters are calling for the release of missing people, accountability for security agencies, and stronger legal protections for constitutional rights. Meanwhile, the National Police Service denies involvement, saying arrests are carried out lawfully, and urged anyone with evidence to come forward. The government has rejected claims of the state police of enforced disappearances.
I am here to address wild animals because it seems Kenya human beings waliisha. We are tired and it is time. Kenya, wake up, open up your heart and hear. No more shedding blood. Coming 2027.
We are out because we are simply demanding to be recognized as human beings. We are demanding that human life be respected, because what has happened in this country is that the killing of young people has become a systemic problem embedded within the security forces. They every day abduct, they every day kill with impunity because they know that there will be no repercussion. We are asking for a new legal framework for our young people, our lives to be protected, because under the law, the dignity and the sanctity of human life is a cardinal right that should not be taken from any Kenyan.
Here in Nigeria, displaced Christian communities in Maiduguri are calling for more government support and humanitarian aid after years of living in an IDP camp following their flight from Boko Haram. The chairman of the camp notes that they can no longer go to their farms in this rainy season because of fear of being attacked by the insurgents. The Christian camp in Maiduguri is home to communities of Goza, Munguno, and Gamburungala, who were dislodged since 2014 when the insurgents captured Goza and declared it seat of their caliphate, forcing thousands of local Christians to flee Maiduguri.
This rainy season again, because of fear of Boko Haram, we did not go to farm. We cannot go inside the bush because of fearing Boko Haram are there. So we have nothing doing. We are just staying like this. There's no skill acquisition for people, no money to start business. We are just roaming about. And up to this time, no intervention from any NGO or the government. Even the government take us since as long as there's the Nigerian army and the civilian JTF, we can go and settle. We are many villages, different villages. If we settle in a camp before everybody can go to his own village, it is better like that. We are really suffering here.
Staying in Nigeria, a new survey is drawing national attention for what it reveals about the way Nigerians view voter education. Researchers surveying 5,000 citizens across the 6 states of the South-South region have found that a strong majority believe civic education does more than teach people how to cast a ballot. They link it directly to peaceful elections and even to protecting the environment. That study, published in the Asian Journal of Interdisciplinary Research, reports that 76% of respondents agree the voter education helps citizens understand the electoral process, 75% connected to peaceful coexistence before, during, and after elections, and 68% believe that integrating environmental messaging into civic education could help reduce practices such as vandalism, pollution, and tire burning around elections. The findings come from a region long shaped by both political significance and environmental pressure, and they have already drawn wide reference across leading Nigerian newspapers. To help us unpack what it all means, I'm now being joined in the studio, or via Zoom, beg your pardon, by lead researcher on the project, Dr. Itodong Anthony Ayamba of the University of Calabar. Dr. Ayamba, if you can hear me, thank you for joining us on the program today. We'll be joined by Dr. Ayamba in a minute, still having problems with his connectivity. But the Nigerian Citizen Association of South Africa, NICASA, is extending warmest congratulations to Ambassador Chief Femi Fani-Kayode on his appointment as the High Commissioner designate for to the Republic of South Africa for Nigeria. It highlighted in a statement that the appointment comes at a critical period when strong, proactive and compassionate leadership is needed to strengthen bilateral relations between Nigeria and South Africa and to enhance the protection and representation of Nigerian citizens. Although these congratulations come months after Fani-Kayode's appointment, the group notes that the synergy between his office and the consulate will further consolidate the progress already being made and open new opportunities for effective community engagements, consular support, and diplomatic intervention where necessary. The CASA also assures Fani-Kayode of cooperation, support, and readiness to engage constructively with his office in all matters that will uplift the image of Nigeria, protect her dignity, and foster harmonious coexistence within South African society. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has reaffirmed commitment of the federal government to build a digital-enabled nation in alignment with the presidential priority areas of sustainable inclusive growth, food security, industrialization, innovation, and improved governance. The Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Shola Enikolai, stated this during a courtesy visit by the management of Huawei Technologies Nigeria to his office. The minister said that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is ready to prioritize and accelerate national diversification through industrialization and innovation, while also improving governance to promote digital diplomacy. It described Nigeria's talent environment as very strong, with brilliant and inquisitive young people driving innovation across the country. Mr. Shola urged Huawei to continue expanding its operations in Nigeria to create more jobs, deepen skills and technology transfer so that Nigerians can share in the prosperity that's being generated. Away from Nigeria, a court in Senegal has sentenced 3 TikTok influencers to prison for posts that allegedly insulted President Bassirou Diomaye Faye. The most severe sentence was given to Maiduguri Diop, known online as Laminu Daru, who was sentenced to 3 months in prison without suspension. 2 other creators, Magwe Dio, known as Ustaz Tiep, and Mustafa Ndiaye, known as Ndiaye Tuba, were each sentenced to 2 months in prison without suspension. They were also fined 500,000 CFA francs each, an amount equivalent to around $800, according to their lawyer. The 3 influencers were represented by lawyer Abdina Diaye, who argued that their TikTok videos were comedic and did not justify criminal prosecution. The ruling has triggered criticism from those who say it rejects growing concerns over freedom of expression and online speech in Senegal. We can now return to one of our interesting stories today. The survey conducted on voter education in Nigeria, researchers surveying 5,000 citizens across 6 states, finding that a strong majority believe civic education does more than teach people how to cast a ballot. They link it directly to peaceful elections and even to protecting the environment. It was published in the Asian Journal of Interdisciplinary Research. Reports that 76% of respondents agree voter education does help citizens understand the electoral process. 75% connected to peaceful coexistence before, during, and after elections. And 68% believe that integrating environmental messaging into civic education could help reduce practices such as vandalism, pollution, and tire burning around elections. Let's speak to the lead researcher of this project, Dr. Anthony Ayamba. He's of the University of Calabar. Dr. Ayamba, thank you for joining us on the program today.
Thank you for having me.
A pretty interesting report. I've had some time to go through it. Your headline finding is that roughly 3 in 4 respondents link voter education to peaceful elections. For people who've grown cynical about civic campaigns, why should we believe voter education changes behavior on the ground, especially the grassroots, and not just attitudes on a questionnaire?
That's a fair question. Our study does not claim that voter education has already eliminated electoral violence. Rather, it demonstrates that a significant majority of respondents, about 75%, believe sustained voter education encourages peaceful coexistence before, during, and after elections. We also found statistically significant relationships between perceptions of voter education and electoral peace. More importantly, voter education works by addressing the underlying drivers of conflict. It equips citizens with knowledge of their rights and responsibilities, discourages misinformation, political thuggery, intimidation, and intolerance, and promotes civic responsibility. While voter education alone is not a magic solution, it changes the environment in which people make decisions. When citizens are better informed, they are generally less vulnerable to manipulation and more inclined towards peaceful democratic participation.
So I want to imagine that almost every Nigerian does have some sort of civic education, voter education, especially around election periods, because before the elections there are campaigns, you are educated. INEC does its job of trying to tell people how to vote. At the elections, this is what you do. You put your thumbprints, you do all of that. But as for voter education, critics might argue that this is a slow process. It's a soft tool in the face of hard problems, problems such as vote buying, godfatherism, entrenched violence, which we see almost every election year. What would you say to those who think that we need enforcement and not enlightenment?
I would say that this should not be viewed as an either or choice. Effective electoral governance requires both enforcement and enlightenment. Law enforcement remains essential for prosecuting electoral offenders, preventing violence, and protecting the integrity of elections. At the same time, voter education addresses the behavioral and attitudinal factors that often fuel electoral misconduct. It helps reduce misinformation and encourages political tolerance, promotes civic responsibility, and builds trust in democratic institutions. Our findings suggest that respondents view voter education as a preventive peace-building tool rather than a substitute for law enforcement. Prevention is generally more sustainable and less costly than responding to violence after it has already occurred. Therefore, combining robust enforcement and continuous civic education offers a more comprehensive strategy for strengthening democracy.
Ayamba, thank you so much. Wish we had more time. I mean, issues surrounding elections are, very sensitive topics, and it's a good thing we're talking about it now, before campaign season begins. Thank you again for joining us on Network Africa.
Thank you for having me once again.
Well, very quickly to our Africa Tech segment, China encourages countries of the world to embrace the benefits of AI technology for the common good. This was a message at the 3rd Lagos Forum 2026 held in Lekki, Lagos. The forum was organized by the Chinese Consulate General in Lagos, the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, and the Institute of African Studies, Zhejiang Normal University in China. In the comfort of one of the Chinese restaurants in Lagos, Chinese diplomats have collaborated with international academic think tanks to make a case for artificial intelligence, its benefits, and legal framework that should guide its use in the world and in Nigeria. Consul General of the People's Republic of China in Lagos, Yan Yuqing, draws her address from remarks made by Chinese President Xi Jinping at the opening ceremony of the 2026 World AI Conference 2 weeks ago in Shanghai, that all countries should take a people-centered approach and develop AI for good and for all.
To promote inclusive and possible development of AI, we must first get the direction right and set clear principles. Our President Xi Jinping put forward 4 observations. First, adhering to the principles of openness and win-win and boost innovation-driven development. We should seize this race historic opportunity together and strengthen AI as a new engine of global economic growth.
Going into the program proper, panelists take on different aspects of AI technology. Research fellow at the NIIA, Beauty Ogologu, speaks on the wisdom behind the machine, closing the governance lag in the age of AI as it pertains to current realities in Nigeria.
Every technological revolution invents 2 things. First, the technology, then the institution built to govern it. Nigeria has embraced the technology. It is still building the institution. Currently, we have Nigeria Data Protection Act that governs data, but not AI decisions.
Director General of the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Mr. Shola Obadimu, discussed AI for sustainable development by highlighting the benefits of the technology.
Responsible AI will make our lives more transparent, and it can help us to be more accountable, whether on an individual, business, or even on a national scale. It can help to bring in the spirit of fairness and equity.
Representing the Director General of the NIIA, research fellow Femi Otubanjo said China leads the way in AI technology, hence the partnership for developing Nigeria's AI infrastructure.
There have been 4 industrial revolutions. The first one is the steam engine, the second one is the assembly line, the third one is the internet. We missed the second one. Even the internet, we are consumers, not producers. So what are we going to do with this one?
Students attending the forum share their thoughts on the use of AI.
They said something about how Nigeria is like the first in Africa and the 25th in the world, I think. But the problem is we are not really utilizing all of these things.
As a researcher, I make use of a couple of AI tools in coming up with my research, although I use it ethically. Ethically, in this sense, is using it with the basic rules that doesn't make you lose the humanity in you.
The message is clear. AI is now and it is here to stay. And Nigeria needs not only to master the technology, but create institutions to nurture it. Amarachi Ubani, Channel Television News. Now, the Confederation of African Football has unanimously reconfirmed its support for embattled Gianni Infantino following a meeting of its executive committee on Thursday. FIFA President Infantino offering crucial backing ahead of his re-election bid, despite intense pressure over a proposed, now shelved World Cup investment plan. The CAF President Patrice Motsepe emphasized the need for governance. The 54-member bloc support provides relief to Infantino as he seeks a 4th term in March. This stance stands in stark contrast to widespread international condemnation as UEFA reiterated its threat to boycott FIFA tournaments, stating it has lost confidence in its leadership. Well, Cameroon completed an unbeaten campaign at the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations with a 1-1 draw against Cabo Verde in Casablanca, securing a quarter-final spot against defending champions Nigeria. Despite leading through a 28th-minute Grace Mendua goal, the indomitable Lionesses were held by a resilient Cabo Verde side. They equalized Ivania Moreira, earning their first ever WAFCON point. The result sets up a quarter-final rematch of the 2022 tournament between Cameroon and Nigeria, while debutants Cabo Verde depart with pride after improving throughout the tournament.
Oh, I mean, we were motivated for all of the games, but this one was especially special because there was no pressure. So we knew we could go out there and play our game, and, you know, we wanted to get points, we wanted to get the win, but we're going to come away happy from the whole tournament. We improved each performance, and that was really big for us. So looking to the future is bright.
And here's our last fun fact for the week and for the day Friday. Did you know that the African wild dog holds the highest hunting success rate of any large mammalian predator, far higher than lions, leopards, or cheetahs, with an astonishing 80% to 85% of their coordinated pack chases ending in a successful kill. Their teamwork, stamina, and strategy make them one of Africa's most efficient predators. That's it for Africa. Thanks for watching. I'm Amarachi Ubani.